open chain fissure. Pag nag-close chain na yan, o nag-recycling na, ang tawag mo na Howard projection. Ulit. Pag cycling na ang carbohydrates, ang representation mo na magiging Howard. Hindi ka tatanungin sa board nung drawing. Ang itatanong sa'yo, paano kino-convert sa cycling? Bago tayo mag-jump kay glucose, dun muna tayo sa mas common na mas maliit sa kanya. Ribose. So we are talking about cyclization of ribose. Sana itinatak natin marige ang mga patterns kanina, mas magiging madali ito kung tanda mo pa yung mga patterns mo kanina, pati yung mga everywhere. Okay? So ribose again is an aldose, pentose. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have your second to the last. Then OH, of course. Everything is at the right side now. Now what happens in cyclization is that penultimate OH, second to the last one, reacts with your carbonate. So again, for referencing lang po, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if ribose is to undergo cyclization na I hope your visual learning channel is activated because we are to lie the structure in a supine position. Sa Tagalog, ihigan natin siya. So this will be your carbonate. And that is again carbon 1. Ito na. Carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4, carbon 5. Oops. Carbon 5. So remember, the penultimate OH is used to close the structure. Siya yung ipagsasara mo. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So we will be extending the OH of carbon 4 because we're going to use it to close the structure. Okay? So, ayan. I'll just be putting the lone pair electrons, we don't have to copy. And we will be completing the structure. So what is found at carbon 2? You have an OH pointing to the right. So if you lie it down in a supine position, it points to the bottom part. Sana na po yun. Yun yung mismo tanong niya eh. Kapag yung OH mo sa fissure projection ay nasa kanan, kapag ginagawa mo raw Howard, saan siya tuturo? Sa baba. Kasi hinihiga mo ka alam eh. So OH nasa kanan, pag hiniga mo, pupunta sa baba. If your OH is pointing to the left, then if you lie it down, OH will be pointing above. Sana na-imagine yun. Okay? Sabi ko nga dapat bukas ang visual learning natin. Pag hindi, malaki ang problema natin sa BioChem software. Pag hindi bukas yung mata mo, yun talaga yun eh. Okay? Kasi nga, we are used to reading words. We're not used to seeing structures, and therefore, we're not used to reading things top to bottom, left to right, right to left, bottom to top. We always read it left to right. But it should not be the case. You should look at all different angles. Sinabi ni Sir, huwag natin sanayin na pagano lang ang direction natin. Okay? Kailangan na-explore mo lahat ng angles eh. Kasi kung hindi, makinito ka talaga, mahirapan ka. Hindi siya mahirap. Inuunahan lang natin ang mahirap kasi our subconscious tells us that it's mahirap. But if you're just looking for patterns na, hindi ka mahihirapan. Okay? So yun. Huwag lang tayong close-minded kasi. Kagaya ko gusto niya rin close-minded sa BioChem. Kaya pili ko lagi mahirap. OH. Okay, good. It will be pointing to the bottom. No? Kasi it's pointing to the right. Carbon 4H will just be specified here. Why? Because you need your OH pointing there because you have to close the structure using carbon 4OH. So, if we have to close the structure na nga, electrons will be going to the carbonate carbon, and as you all know, how many bonds can carbon accommodate? Only 4. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is in excess. So, you have to remove one bond, and it becomes an electron. And remember that oxygen needs 2 bonds. This is 1, 2, 3 is in excess. So, you have to transfer the proton here, and this one becomes neutral. This one becomes neutral. And that's already it. If we are to write it properly, OH will be pointing above, H will be pointing downwards. Sir, can it happen that the OH will be pointing downward? Yes, pwede rin. So what can you notice, Ana? For carbon 1, ano nangyari? Ano nangyari kay carbon 1? Double bond plus loss. Sige, ano ba? Maxi. Nag-gain ang hydrogen. Nag-gain ang electrons. Ano ba? Sabi ko, kapag walang tanong, related sa mga kakasabi na ano. Ito bigyan ng plus 20 ko. What can you notice for the first carbon? Kanina, hindi chiral. Ngayon, chiral na. Tama? This carbon is not chiral. Because it's carbonate. That's 1, 2 oxygens. How about now? It's now chiral. Because above it has H, below it has OH. This one has CHOH. This one has oxygen and carbon. So, it has 4 different attachments. Magkakaiba. So, what do you call the achiral carbonate? The achiral carbonate, the achiral carbonate carbon that has become chiral. Ano tawag? You call it your anomeric carbon. So, may bago na naman tayo. Term. So, what are the isomers so far that we have learned for carbohydrates? D and N. Isomers. Capital D, capital N. And it is describing again, ano ba? Ultimate or penultimate OH. Second to the last. Ano ba? Epimers. What are epimers? Carbohydrates that differ in one carbon other than the terminal and penultimate. Second to the last pa rin. Pangatlo na to, anomers. Mamaya yung anomers. We discussed first the anomeric carbon. Okay? So, the anomeric carbon nga is the initially carbonyl group that has been converted to something chiral or a chiral carbon. Okay? Hindi siya chiral, ngayon chiral na. Now, all of your monosaccharides with the aldehyde or the ketone, when they are converted to the anomeric carbon, this one entitles their reducing property. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Sorry. You will do this in the lab, hopefully next week. Now, back then, when we were testing blood samples, urine samples for glucose, what we use is cupric sulfate. Cupric sulfate. I just wrote it in its ionized form. Okay? So, if your blood or urine na lang has glucose, and you add, if your blood or urine has glucose, the cupric ions are converted to cuprous. And what reaction is occurring na? Positive 2 becomes positive 1, so that is reduction, mababa charge. And all of your monosaccharides are reducing sugars. Sinabi ko na. Okay? Lahat ng monosaccharide reducing sugars. How do you test reducing sugars? You test their ability to reduce metal ions. So when cupric is converted to cuprous, it reacts with the oxide of water. That is converted to cuprous oxide. So in the laboratory, if you see a brick red precipitate, it's an indication that your sample indeed has glucose. But if you don't have glucose, of course, cupric ions are not converted to cuprous, therefore, you don't see any brick red precipitate. Therefore, you don't have glucose or monosaccharide in your sample. Common to rin ginagawa ng method dati para malaman kung may asukal ba ang VP o wala. Because more or less, if you have glucose in your urine, you have diabetes or what else? If you have glucose in the urine, it's either diabetes or what else? UTI. Severe UTI can damage the kidney and cause glucose to exit the urine. Okay? So sinabi lang natin, pag-identify mo yan natin ng glucose sa urine, gagamit ka ng cupric sulfate. Okay? Because carbohydrates can reduce metal ions. Why? It's because of their anomeric carbon. Basta may anomeric carbon, basta may aldehyde or ketone, matic, reducing sugar. Okay? Basta may aldehyde, basta may ketone, basta may anomeric carbon, reducing sugar agad. Therefore, all monosaccharides are reducing sugars, all of them. Okay? So, we have two types of anomers. Again, what is the anomeric carbon? That's your achiral carbonyl that has become chiral naman. Now, what are the types of anomers? Or what are anomers muna? Simple lang. You don't have to write. These are isomers na ano kaya? That differ in the configuration of the anomeric carbon. O ano lang ang sinasabi sa Tagalog? Mga isomer sila na nagkatalo dito sa configuration ng anomeric carbon. So if you're seeing your OH pointing downwards, the anomer is known as alpha. And remember, this was ribose. So this one now is known as alpha D ribose. Saan kinuha ni Sir yun? Alpha pointing downwards. If the anomeric OH is pointing downwards, it's alpha. Where did we get D? Saan natin kinuha yung D? All carbohydrates in the human cells are D. Kaya lahat sila D. Okay? Oh, where did you get ribose? Of course, ribose. Diba? So, ganun lang ha. If it's pointing downwards, it's alpha. So, what do you think is the other anomer? When the OH is pointing upwards. If it's pointing upwards, then it becomes beta. At sana naman pakalimutan. Your basis for assigning the type of anomer is always, and I mean always, the OH. Lagi yung OH. Yung OH. Yung OH. Hindi carbon ha. Yung OH. Pakilang ulit ako. Yung OH. So if it's pointing downwards, it's alpha. Okay? If it's pointing upwards, huwag mo nang buuin pababa kasi bababa. Beta. Beta. Di ba paano yung sulat yung beta? Ganun nga. Hindi. Huwag na ituloy. Para lang hindi mo na makalimutan. Napataas ang beta. Alpha is going down. Eh, you only have two lang naman eh. You have alpha anomer, beta anomer. And once again, what do you call this projection? Howard's projection. Good. Howard's projection. And ribose resembles what structure from orchid nga. Kamukha na sila, no? Oh, if it was aromatic, 5-membered with the oxygen, you call it furan. Therefore, the full name of this one is beta D ribofurans. But you don't have to write that. I'm just sharing this for when you go to your pharmacognosy, if your teacher is into details, ako hindi masyado malaga sa pharmacy. Kaya lang, it's notable to somehow be familiar na your carbohydrates can look like furan. Some of your carbohydrates can look like pangit. Palit. Yan. Sino na nga ito? Pyran. So some of your monosaccharides can look like pyran, so they become pyranose. Some of your monosaccharides can look like furan, so they become furanose. Okay? So where do you find ribose kaya? Let me rephrase the question. Where do you find ribose in other biomolecules? You only have 4 choices. Actually, 3 na lang. Kasi you don't include carbohydrates na eh. So what are the other biomolecules? Lipids, proteins, nucleic acids. Sino doon? Ang makikitaan mo pa ng ribose? Nucleic acids. Di ba nga? What are the 2 nucleic acids? Ano ulit? Ano? Isa pa nga? Ribonucleic acid. So may ribose. Okay? What else? Deoxyribonucleic acid. So still with ribose. Both of them can have ribose. That's why I opted to discuss this first. Because you will see this again when we discuss nucleic acids. And, of course, ribose is smaller than glucose. Kasi ribose is a pentose, glucose is a pentose. Diba? Linisin ko lang ha. Kahit pag mo-operate. Kaya, linisin ko lang. Balik natin kay ribose. So, OH, and H, OH, OH, H, and CH2, CH2OH. So, what carbohydrate is this again? I-reset ko lang eh. Ribose nga. Ribose. So, if you remove oxygen there, it becomes what? Deoxyribose. Pinagdala ko ng oxygen. Deoxygenated ribose. Okay? Ayan na. Sorry na po agad. We need to know the 2. Because again, we will be seeing them again when we discuss the nucleic acids. So this is the sugar you find in DNA. Because it's deoxygenated. Now this is the sugar you find in the RNA. Because it's not deoxygenated. That's the reason why you call it ribose and deoxyribose. Kasi deoxygenated ka ang asukal with DNA. Okay? So yun. Let's move on to the popular carbohydrates and acquisition of glucose. So madali-dali na ito. Sana na. So what is glucose again? How many carbons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what is found at carbon 1? It's always the carbonyl. And again, constant. And again, constant. And that's it. This one is pointing there. Remember that glucose will be having its carbon 3 OH pointing to the left. The rest is pointing to the right. Yung carbon 3 lang na nakaturo sa kaliwa. Sana huwag na natin makalimutan forever. Sana na. So again, we're talking about still cyclization. It's actually a reversible process. That's why I keep on writing a reversible arrow. And once again, it's the same method. Or it's the same reaction mechanism na the penultimate OH will react with the carbonyl carbon. So once again, if you're going to lie it down in a supine position or ihiga mo nga, this is your carbonyl carbon and that will be your hydrogen. And carbon 1, carbon 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is carbon 1 na nga. This is carbon 2, this is carbon 3, this is carbon 4, this is now carbon 5. And remember, carbon 5 OH is being used to close the structure. That's why we will be extending the OH for closing the structure. Carbon 6 po is pointing outwards because it's the last carbon and sorry, for us to easily observe what's going on. Okay? Hindi pa makaleno. Yan. I'll be putting electrons again for the explanations later. So again, ito na naman tayo. What happens to carbon 2 OH if it's pointing to the right, it will be pointing down? Tama? Pointing down o pointing up? Down. Down. Basta nasa kanan, pag hiniga mo, bababa. Now, how about carbon 3? Yeah. It's pointing to the left. So if you write it down, it will be pointing back. Okay? How about carbon 4? It will be pointing downwards. And carbon 5, no problem anymore because you're just going to use it for closure. So, I'll just be filling up the hydrogens po. Ayan na. And that's it. We're ready for cyclization na nga. Once again, it's the same mechanics. Electrons go to the positive carbonyl-carbon. Lagi siyang positive because oxygen is electronegative nga. So, that's the reason why electrons can easily go to your carbonyl-carbons because of the effects of oxygen. And once again, it's the same scenario. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Electrons should go to oxygen. This one is positive because of the proton. This one is negative, so to achieve neutrality, H goes here, neutral. Electrons go to oxygen, neutral. And that's it. If we write it properly, we'll be having this. What's the name? Using what I did here. What's the name of this? Beta D I know I said I'm not particular with this, but just give it a try. Diba? It looks like pyrite. Again, kanina, dito ito pa. This one is pyrite. This one, so pangit, I know, looks like pyrite. That's why it's pyritose. Okay? And it's the most abundant form of glucose. Okay? You can do away with writing pyrite and simply put beta D glucose. Okay na yun. And you will never forget na it's the most abundant form. Kasi nga, most abundant beta D glucose. Most abundant si beta D glucose. Sana lang malawang imagination natin so that you can point, diba, different concepts. Kasi iba yung meron sa type ng isomer na dominant for glucose. So beta D glucose. Okay? You don't have to copy that, it's in your notes. I just explain it step by step. Para mas masusundan natin lahat. How did we come up with such OH, no? Or such orientations for the OH? Question, how do you easily recognize the anomeric carbon? And you need to easily recognize it, the anomeric carbon, right? That will be your reference point for identifying the monosaccharides. Ang sinabi ni Sir sa Tagalog, pag hindi mo nakita si anomeric carbon, hindi mo ma-identify yung asukal na karat mo. Kaya kailangan makita mo agad si anomeric carbon. And mas na-easiest mo yung locate yung anomeric carbon. Walang double bond. Kailangan sila walang double bond. No double bond, no double bond, no double bond, no double bond, no double bond. Yung double bond, naging single bond. Hindi. When you're not seeing this kasi is the point. Kung wala ito, You're just looking at the ring structure. How do you recognize the anomeric carbon? It's the only carbon with two oxygens. Because it came from carbonate, two oxygens. Tingnan maigi. This carbon, how many oxygens? Anomeric. Unlike this one, hindi pa pala ako ulo ng mga hydrogens. Okay na. This one has how many oxygens? Ito, hindi ko ako iyak at tumutulog yung pangis ko. Kita yata dito. Ito, isa. This one, one. This one, one. So, it's the only carbon with two oxygens. For glucose, ayun na naman. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, but this one has two. Siya lang yung dalawa lagi. Again, identification of your anomeric carbon with DT to identifying disaccharides and other monosaccharides. Okay? Sige. What are the anomers of glucose ulit? Ano ang anomers? Sorry. What are the epimers kasi of glucose? Ano yung ka-epimer ng glucose? Mannose and... Okay, so mannose and glucose are epimers at what carbon? Carbon 2. Mannose and galactose are epimers at what carbon? Carbon 4. Therefore, you already know how to draw them. Oo naman. This is what again? Glucose. Glucose. Again, when talking about mannose, they are epimeric where? Ulit-ulit. Carbon 2. So you turn carbon 2 to the right. And therefore, what happens to the Hubbard projection? Your carbon 2 OH will be looking like this. And that's already true. Mannose na siya. Pinihit ko lang, di ba? Kasi ka-epimer eh. So yun yung sinasabi ko. Kung alam mo yung magka-epimer, madali. Hindi mo na iisa-isa yung mga carbon ko. Di ba? So again, since they are epimeric at carbon 2, just turn carbon 2 OH from the bottom to the top. Because from the right side, it's now going to the left. So if you lie this down, it will be pointing upward. Okay? We will be bringing it back to glucose. Yan na. Hindi alam mo na yung susunod. Galactose. Galactose and glucose are epimeric where? 4. So if you turn this one, okay, it's now pointing to the left. And therefore, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. If you turn OH here to the top side, then that's already galactose. So hindi pa rin na-imagine. Carbon 2 OH na nakaturo, kanan. Kaya bumaba. Hindi naman natin kilala, di ba? Carbon 3 sa nakaturo, kaliwa. Kaya ayun, pataas. Ngayon, carbon 40 glucose, pinihit natin pakaliwa. Kasi epimer sila sa core. Since nasa kaliwa na siya, pinihit na natin dito. Kasi this is carbon 3, this is carbon 4. So glucose had the OH at carbon 4 pointing downwards. But now, galactose is having the OH pointing outward. So again, sana nakikita natin yung value ng epimers. Pag alam mo yung epimer, dadali ko. Hindi kaya sa ibang teacher, papamemorize sa'yo, bahala ka nga sa buhay mo. Again, if you look at the relationships, it's easy. You can always derive patterns. Okay? And yeah, when I was a student, I don't know anything about these things. Remember, I'm very vocal back then, last year. Galit ako sa BioChem. Ayoko ng BioChem. Wala nang maniwala sa akin eh. Galit ako sa BioChem. Hindi siya maintindihan eh. Yun lang. I was obliged nga lang to teach. That's why I finally understood it. That there are patterns na naman. Okay? So, last but not the least, we have to talk about, of course, the most common ketose. Sino nga yung most common ketose? Siyempre. No. Most common ketose. Fructose. Siyempre. Most common aldose. Most common aldose. In the form of beta-glucose na. Glucose. Most common fructose. Most common ketose. Fructose. Teka pala. Balik ko lang ha. So I will just bring it back to the original form, glucose. So for us to recap. So this is what again? Hanggang manawa kayo. Para wala nang mamamali. Pag pina-identify sa words. Sino ulit to? Sino yan? Still glucose. Carbon 3, pointing to the left. That's why carbon 3 is pointing to the right. In case you haven't noticed po, the only things you have to look out would be this. And you have to locate those based on the anomeric carbon. So yun yung sinasabi ko susi. If you don't identify your anomeric carbon kasi, you will never know where to number 1. The anomeric carbon for aldoses kasi is always carbon 1. Lagi. And it has 2 oxidants nga. So if that is carbon 1, automatic that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. And from there, you're guided already. Because they will only vary at 2 and 4 na. So if you're having carbon 3 OH pointing above, that's glucose. If you're having this one pointing to the top, then it's mannose. If you're having this one pointing to the top, then it's galactose. So, essence ko sinabi ni Sir, yung tatlong sikat na aldohexose, dito ka lang titingin actually. Basta alam mo si glucose, madali yung dalawa. That's glucose, B10 si carbon 2, that's mannose, B10 si carbon 4, that's galactose. Okay? So, moving forward to fructose. So, don't forget that fructose is a ketose. Bigla ako nakikinig. CH2OH, COH. So, what's notable for fructose nga? In case you haven't noticed, it looks like glucose nga. Tama? Because they both have the carbon 3 OH pointing to the left. The only difference between the two is what? This one is an aldehyde. This one is a ketone. Doon lang sila nagkakalo eh. So this is glucose, this is fructose. And once again, nothing new about cyclization. Your penultimate OH reacts with the carbonyl. But this time, the carbonyl is found at carbon 2 because this one is a ketose. Yun ang magiging difference. Okay? So this is carbon 1, carbon 3, carbon 4, 5, and 6. And once again, we're just to write it down. So this is CH2OH, carbon 1. This is your carbonyl. This is your carbon 3. So carbon 2, carbon 3. Again, it's fructose, so expected carbon 3 is pointing above because the OH is pointing to the left. So if you write it down, it will be pointing above. And therefore, your carbon 4 na will be pointing downwards. And your carbon 5 OH will be used to close the structure. Okay? So I'll just be writing H. And then, this is now your carbon 6. Carbon 6. Kung hindi nasundan, CH2OH, carbonyl, carbon 3 OH pointing to the left now is pointing upward. Carbon 4 OH is pointing downward because it's pointing to the right. Carbon 5 will be used to close the structure and this is your carbon 6. So alam ba ito? It's the same mechanics. Wherein electrons go to the carbonyl carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one becomes positive, this one becomes negative, so to achieve neutrality, this one loses proton, proton is positive always, so okay na. This one goes there and it becomes neutral. And this one will now look like that one. Ano din? Alpha, D, fructo. Ilang sides meron ang pyramid? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only. Okay. So merong nakakuha ng pinagkakagawa natin kanina. Sa mga hindi nakuha ko, what's the basis for alpha beta? Nakailang ulit ako, di ba? Hindi ulit-ulit ko sa kanina. How do you know if it's alpha or beta? Your basis is the OH of the anomeric carbon. Again, how do you know the anomeric carbon? 2 oxygen atoms. Sabi ko nga, ulit-ulit, yun yung susi. Pag hindi mo na-identify si anomeric carbon, tapos, hindi ko nakaka-number kasi. Okay? So, this is your anomeric carbon, your anomeric OH is pointing downwards, that's why it's alpha. And again, the basis is the OH na, kung napansin nyo how did I mention it a while ago, your basis is not carbon. Your basis is not carbon. Your basis is OH. Lagi. Okay? So it's furanose, but it's not that important. You can simply write alpha D fructose. Okay, try doon. So glucose here can assume a 6-membered ring. What do you know about 6-membered rings? For 6-membered rings, what can happen? Oops. They can assume chair. Wherein, this is your anomeric carbon. It will be having the OH there. This is your carbon 2 OH. It will be having the OH there and hydrogen there. Next is your carbon 3, which will be having your OH here and hydrogen there. Your carbon 4 will be pointing downwards and the hydrogen pointing there. And your carbon 5 will be having the CH2OH. So you don't have to draw this. Okay? I just reviewed po how to come up with the chair structure. You have to pull this carbon down. That's why you're pulling it down. You have to pull this carbon up. That's why carbon 4 is pointing up. In case you fail to number 1, 2, 3, 4 na. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5, and then 6. I'm just adding the hydrogen. So this is the stable form of beta-T glucose. Hindi pala ito naka-beta. Naka-beta. This is the most stable form of beta-T glucose. It's the form of glucose you see in the blood and in everything else. Even in bacteria, in helminths, fungi, etc. Okay? It will be the chair conformer. Why chair? What is the most stable conformer for 6-membered rings nga? Both o chair? Laging chair na. Why is both not stable? Kasi it can sink. It has steric strain. Ano pa? It has torsional strain. It has angle strain. Alam na, hindi na maalala. So, pahinga sa structure. Ay, salamat. Okay na tayo eh. We're done with this and we're done with that. So these are now the biomedical and pharmaceutical importances of carbohydrates. So glucose na is the most abundant monosaccharide, the most abundant carbohydrate. In what form? Beta-T glucose. Ikaklaro mo pala. Most abundant polysaccharide is cellulose. Remember, I said cellulose is made up of what? Glucose. Therefore, the most abundant monosaccharide is what? Glucose. Talaga. Because plants use it to create cellulose to produce their cell wall. And then as animals, we rely on glucose for energy. Bacteria relies on glucose for energy. All microorganisms rely on glucose for energy. Lahat, no exception. So the most abundant form is beta-D-glucose nga. And what are the other names nga for glucose? Yan na nga. You call it blood sugar, physiological sugar, at ang pinakasikat nga, dextrose. Okay? Ay, sorry. Kulang pala. Ito na. Dextrose. Dextrose. Why do we call glucose dextrose? Tingin nyo. First and foremost, what type of isomer is glucose? It's really capital T. Okay? And its optical activity kasi is actually dextrorotatory. So glucose is dextro na dextro. Kaya ang tawag dextrose. Okay? So, what is dextrorotatory ulit? It's the ability of your isomer to rotate link polarized line to the right. So, ganun si glucose. How about fructose? If glucose is dextrorotatory, fructose is liporotatory. That's why the synonym naman for fructose is levulose. Mamaya na lang. Levulose, kasi liporotatory siya. Glucose is dextrose. So it's the most abundant of your monosaccharide. In what form? Beta-D-glucose. Alam na natin yun. So plants use it to produce starch and also cellulose or the cell wall. Animals, nga lang. Ilan ang transfer ulit asal kamay? Transfer this year lang ha. 1, 2, 3. This year lang.
Sorry.
Oo nga, absentee, madam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. May absentee. This year lang. Hindi ka sa amin kasi.
This is Kuli. Hindi ako tumaas. Hindi na ba ako jester ako?
Sa ayun, sa batay. So, sorry ako. Ito ay wait.
Bridget, napapasarap ka na sa lipat-lipat ha.
Meron tayo slip. Pakisabit daw tomorrow. So, ito for our directory in case emergency. Ay, buka. Up to tomorrow daw yan. Up to tomorrow daw yan. Kay Ma'am Deb daw ito kasa. Meron kayo parehas? Information sheet. Okay na. So alam na natin yun eh. What is the stored form of carbohydrates and plants? Starch. Diba? Kaya they can use glucose to produce starch. And what is the form of carbohydrate in their cell wall nga? Cellulose. So again, precursor would be glucose. Alam niyo po, simple lang eh. Lahat ng asukal manggagaling kay glucose. That's it. Lahat. And I mean lahat. And therefore, all of your carbohydrates can be converted to glucose then. So, all comes from glucose and all can be converted back to glucose. Ultimately. Because glucose is the form that is utilized all the time. Okay? Parang ganda ng TV na nilingan natin. Miguel. May kislat yung mata niyo pala eh. Anong nangyayari dito? Meron pa kami tayo. Joke lang. Ganda ng spell eh. Anyway, so humans nga, ano? use it to produce glycogen. Question, can we produce glucose? Can we produce glucose? As in, can we produce glucose from simple molecules? Kasi we can produce glucose from breaking down glycogen. Sige, kasi glycogen is made up of glucose. But can we produce glucose from carbon dioxide and water? Hindi. And that's a huge difference because plants are what? Photosynthetic. So they can create glucose. Tayo, we create glucose but not from simple carbon dioxide and water. We usually need food. We need food to create our own glucose. So we don't produce glucose from simple precursors. So where do we store glycogen? Lagi tinatanong. Liver and muscles. Why? Because these organs need constant supply of energy. Especially sino? Liver. Okay, so that's why you call it the liver. You cannot live without your liver. Because it creates a lot of proteins. And again, what are proteins nga? What are proteins? Most biologically active biomolecules, diba? So if you produce proteins, diba, you live. Without proteins, you die. Kaya ang liver pampabuhay. Okay? Sana klaro-klaro. And liver, having a lot of biosynthetic roles, it needs a lot of energy. And of course, muscles will need energy because people contracting their muscles, especially the cardiac muscles, diba? Cardiac muscles can relax. Because they could be usually pumped plus to everything. Diba? So yun. So sabi mo, glucose is the precursor to all carbohydrates. Glucose can be converted to galactose, to mannose, to whatsoever carbohydrate you can think of. And also to disaccharides and to polysaccharides. Lahat ay nagagaling kay glucose. So lahat ay pwedeng maging glucose. So what are the common questions pati? Glucose is the final product of starch digestion or starch hydrolysis. Glucose is also the product of lactose digestion, sucrose digestion, maltose digestion. Medyo nakakalito itong part kasi puro sila O's. So, what do you know about these things, sana? Let's begin with starch. Where do you find starch na? Sinabi ko kanina. Rice, what else? Corn, cassava, etc. Kamote, even, no? So, starch, eto na, sorry na agad, tinatanong ko. How do we digest starch? Starch is initially converted to soluble starch. Before it's converted to liquid dextrins. Dextrins are polysaccharides too. Now dextrins are converted to maltotriose. Maltotriose is converted to maltose, and maltose is ultimately converted to glucose. So I just wrote the step-by-step process of starch digestion naman. Si starch, dadaan dyan. Okay? Now, what are the enzymes that can digest starch? Sabi ni anatomy. So, starch can be digested by salivary amylase and also pancreatic amylase nga. And what is amylase na nga? It's an enzyme that can digest starch. So, what do you know or what do you call the salivary amylase now? Pyrene. What is the name of the pancreatic amylase amylopsin? Dapat alam. At pag tinanong po tayo, carbohydrate digestion begins at the blank. Mouth. It's the only biomolecule that can be digested in the mouth or oral cavity because it's the only biomolecule that we have an enzyme in the mouth for digestion of carbohydrates. Lipids, they have to reach stomach. Proteins, they have to reach stomach. Nucleic acids, they have to reach stomach. Everything must reach the stomach prior to being digested. But carbohydrates, they don't need to reach the stomach. Okay? So ito may mga tanong. What is the product of partial starch digestion? Kasi yun nandito, complete eh. Paano pag nasa loob, product of partial starch digestion? Oh, by the way, if the question is product of complete digestion of starch, what's the answer? Of course, it's glucose. That's the final product eh. Oh, how about if the question is partial ka? If it's partial, maltose. Partial. Ulit. Ang tanong lang doon, product of partial starch digestion, sagot maltose. Some references will say maltose, but studies have shown it's dominated by maltose. So, product of complete starch digestion naman is glucose. Magkakalimutan. Okay? So, what do you think about maltose? Maltose is made up of what? Marinig lang sa glucose. Marinig dyan namin. Saan ko ang maltose? 2 glucose. Therefore, it's what? Disaccharide. Okay? What else? Lactose. Saan ko ang lactose? I'm just enumerating the things here. What is lactose? Milk, sugar. And it's composed of glucose and galactose. What else? You have your table sugar. Table sugar is composed naman of glucose and fructose. So, I'm just showing you that glucose is always the product of disaccharide digestion. This, and this are all disaccharides. And all of them have glucose in the molecule. Okay? Next, you have fructose. What is the other name for fructose? Kanina, fruit sugar or nebulose. Okay? Sinabi ko na, fruit sugar. It's a component nga of, ano to ulit? Ayan ang sinasabi ko na yung tinatanong niya. Ano to ulit? Table sugar. So, fructose is a clear component now of table sugar. Kasi table sugar contains glucose, fructose na. And once again, it's the sweetest monosaccharide. Fructose is also found in inulin. Ano yung inulin? Inulin is a polysaccharide found in various plants. And it's a diagnostic aid. Ayan na. Patients are typically injected with inulin, or sometimes it's allowed to be taken orally. Now what happens is inulin goes to the blood. Inulin must be filtered by glomerulus. And therefore, inulin is for diagnosis of what? Kung si inulin ka, napipilter ng kidney, bale, ano gamit ka? Pang-diagnose ng kidney function. Di ba? Duress. Sa lumin ko. Lambing na. Pagpumalo yung niya. Ayun, diagnostic aid for kidney function. Kamusta ba? So yun. It's the most accurate po for diagnosis of kidney function. Yung nga lang, we don't usually use it right. The procedure is too complex and expensive. We rather use a different test method under enzymes na lang. Pero, huwag kakalimutan, inulin filtration. Ulitin ko, inulin filtration because it's being filtered by the glomerulus na. It's the most accurate method for testing kidney function. Okay? I didn't agree with diabetes kasi po, hindi lahat ng kidney problem ay due to diabetes. You have to remember that. You can have kidney stones, you can have UTI, which is poorly managed, no? And all of which can compromise the kidney. So, hindi diabetes lang ang cause ng kidney problem, just to be clear. Okay? So, yun. So, fructose can be converted to glucose also inside the liver. And as I said, it's So first and foremost, what is glucose intolerance? Ano sakit mo kung meron kang glucose intolerance? Diabetes mellitus is glucose intolerance. Glucose intolerance is diabetes mellitus because you can tolerate glucose, or whenever you hear intolerance, these are people who cannot process or metabolize a particular biomolecule. So sa Tagalog, kung hindi mo ma-metabolize ang asukal, talagang diabetic ka, kaya nga tumataas sa dugo mo. Okay? So what are the types of diabetes? No. Diabetes mellitus siya. No, that's the simple. Types of diabetes mellitus. 1 and 2. Ano yung 1? Lack of insulin. So, type 1 diabetes mellitus, ano pa isa? Type 2. Difference. Yung alin? Ano yung insulin resistant? Good. Correct. There is insulin resistance. Ano yung 1? Lack of insulin. Okay. Very good. Sige. Tuloy mo na. Ano ang pinagkagalingan or etiology? Ay, grabe. Nasa expectation. Hindi, alam mo yan. I'm pretty sure alam mo yan. Bakit nawala ng insulin yung type 1? Type 1 diabetic patients. By the way, meron 5% na type 1 diabetic. It's genetics. And the nature of the disease is what? Autoimmune. Ayan na. What's the problem with type 1? Their own immune system is killing the beta cells. Ano beta cells? Dapat alam ang basics na what are the beta cells of the pancreas? Or to be specific, beta cells of the islets of Langerhans of the pancreas.
Glucocorticoid.
These are the cells that produce
Glucocorticoid.
Wala nakaka-relate. Ano trabaho ng beta cells ng lapay o pancreas? Yan ang taga-produce ng insulin. So, in type 1, there is autoimmune destruction of the beta cells. That's why these patients don't have insulin. And therefore, we call type 1 diabetics at what? Insulin-dependent diabetes mellitus. They cannot live without injecting insulin. Bakit nga? Kasi wala silang insulin eh. And from a importance of standpoint, your trigger word is beta cells are gone. Haba yung sinabi niya. Basta nakalagay lang, beta cells are gone. Okay, type 1 diabetes ka na. Because that's the only disease where you lose beta cells. Type 1 diabetes. Okay? So, for type 2 naman, there is insulin. Insulin production is normal. But the thing is, cells are not responding. Okay? That's why you call it insulin resistance. And therefore, you call this one non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. Dapat alam. Kung di nga-capture yun, type 1 is insulin dependent. They need to inject insulin for them to live. Insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. Type 2 naman is non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. Meaning, they can live without injecting insulin. So, what's the etiology again for type 1? Wala no choice, namamana talaga siya. And it can happen na both of your parents don't have it. It's just somewhere down your bloodline has it. Maybe your great-grandfather, great-grandmother. If you're unfortunate enough and you inherited the genes, even if your primary relatives don't have type 1, you can have type 1. Nangyari yun tama, recessive. Okay? So, yun. Yun ang masakla. Okay? So, how about type 2? Paano ba type 2? What's the etiology? Ang katakawan. This one is genetics. Type 2 is lifestyle related. If you keep on eating, given po that most of the foodstuffs that you take in can be converted to glucose. Hindi ba? Most of the foodstuffs that you take in or eat becomes glucose. Lipids can become glucose, proteins can become glucose, nucleic acids, they have ribose, and ribose can be converted to glucose. So if you're keeping your glucose high in the blood, what do you think will happen? You keep on producing insulin. Why? Because what's the role of insulin? It lowers the glucose guy. So if your glucose is always high, you always produce insulin. And therefore, insulin always works on the cell. And ngayon, cells can perceive that as a signal of toxicity. At nalalason ako ng insulin. Hindi na ako magre-respond sa insulin. I-resist ko ang epekto ng insulin. So, the ending is, you have insulin, but your cells are no longer responding. So your glucose does not enter the cell na. And therefore, you develop hyperglycemia. Ulitin ko, pagkain ka na kain, lagi mataas ang sukal mo. Kung lagi mataas ang sukal mo, pwede lagi kang produce ng insulin. Ang problema mo ngayon doon, ang insulin na pinoproduce mo, kapit sa cells. Ang cells na-interpret yun or nag-misinterpret yun na teka muna, nalalasan ako ng insulin, so hindi mo na ako magre-respond sa insulin. Kaya ngayon, kahit may insulin ka, hindi sila nagre-respond. So, yung asukal mo ngayon, nasa dugo na. Okay? And what are the symptoms? Tuloy mo na yun sa akin. Polyphagia, kaya ng kain. Polyphagia, kaya ng kain. Because cells are starving. Sana lang i-imagine o nag-picture out natin. Type 2 diabetes or type 1 diabetes, you keep on eating. You keep on eating. Why? Because your cells are starved. Because your glucose is not entering the cells. Kaya gutom yung cells mo. Kaya kain ka na kain. What else? Polyuria. Ano ba? Polydipsia. What is polydipsia muna? You drink and you drink. You're always thirsty in diabetes. Why? Your glucose is in the blood. Yes, alright. Your glucose can withdraw water. Kasi glucose is polar. So if your glucose is in the blood, what happens? The water in your cells go to the blood, your cells become dehydrated. Tendency is you keep on drinking na. Inom ka na ng inom. Kasi your cells are dehydrated. And since you keep on drinking, you keep on urinating. Kaya may polyuria. So polyphagia, polydipsia, polyuria. Triad of symptoms of diabetes mellitus. So if you're paying attention to your body, pag napapansin mo, patakaw ka na ng patakaw, inom ka na ng inom, kain ka na ng kain, baka tumataas na po ang ating blood glucose. Okay? Nagising ka agad. Hindi ka naman matapang. Doon yung iba. Ha? Okay, bulis. Sinabi ko matapang kayo. Sabi mo kayo hindi ka matapang. So how about glucose intolerance? What's the danger? Hypoglycemia. Ulit. Glucose intolerance, hyperglycemia. Fructose intolerance, hypoglycemia. Why? You need the fructose from what you eat as stable sugar to be converted also to glucose. It contributes to the normal glucose balancing. So if you're not producing glucose from fructose, it will throw off your normal glycemic or glucose balance. So sinabi ni Sir, yung nasa kinakain mo table sugar, sucrose such as milk tea, cakes, anything sweet, chocolate, soft drinks, the sucrose there that contains glucose and fructose, you still need the fructose to be converted po to glucose. And if you fail to convert the fructose to glucose, you develop hypoglycemia. And when dangerous nga? Hypo o hyper? Laging hypo. Laging hypo. Do you see patients die today when diagnosed with diabetes today? Kaya na lang ako yung tanong ko. Pag ang pasyente na diagnosed ng diabetes ngayon, nakamatay ba ngayon? Hindi. Ang pa sige, di ba? Pero hypoglycemia. Ma-diagnose ka ng hypoglycemia ngayon. Pwede ngayon din makamatay ka na. If not properly managed. Why? Because your heart, your brain, runs all glucose. Kaya, hypoglycemia is much more dangerous than hyperglycemia. Lagi ganon. Even for blood pressure. Hypotension is much more dangerous than hypertension. Isa pa, ang high blood, if you see a patient diagnosed with hypertension today die today, ito pa rin. But some patients diagnosed with hypotension, if not properly managed, they die today. Because again, the normal blood pressure is important for what? For oxygenation and perfusion of your brain. Ang blood pressure mo, gusto mong normal para tama ang oxygen dyan, para tama ang energy dyan o glucose dyan. Sino kaya magdadala ng glucose sa utak? Tugo, syempre. So kung mababa blood pressure mo, mababa glucose, mababa oxygen sa utak, some areas of the brain can die off. And therefore, your involuntary center shut down. Remember, your cardiovascular center is involuntary. Your respiratory center is involuntary. So if this thing shut down, you shut down. You develop multiple organ failure. Okay? Sabi nga ng teacher ko, the kingdom comes, they will be done on earth ka dyan. Sa hypoglycemia. Mag-sense ka talaga agad eh. Okay, hypotension. Okay, may kalala niya ka. They can kill patients if not properly managed. Okay? So, yun. Question so far. Sorry. So, what is ribose again? What is glycerose again and dihydroxyacetone? Sinabi ko na dito eh. They are metabolic intermediates. Yun nga lang, don't forget, we use them to produce glycerol. Sabi nga ni Andrea, most common fatty alcohol. Now, this information gives you or provides you with what more information? If you keep on eating sweets na, you can get fat. Because excessive sweets can mean excessive glycerose, excessive dihydroxyacetone. And when these two are in excess, you can develop excessive glycerol. And I hope you realize it already. Sige nga. What is this ulit? Ano ba sa yan? Basa? Glycerol yan. How can you convert it to glycerol? How do you convert it to glycerol? Lagyan natin ang torture. This one, again, how do you convert it to glycerol? Alam niyo yan, organ din eh. Oh, what is glycerol nga ulit? Ano mo na yung glycerol? Alcohol. What is this? Aldehyde. Ano sabi ng organ teacher nyo? How do you convert aldehyde to alcohol? Just add hydrogen. So reduction of your carbohydrates produce alcohols. Make sense? Diba sabi ko organ pa lang? Maraming bagay yung ikot dyan. Aldehyde pag na-reduce, alcohol. Okay? Alcohol, ma-oxidize, aldehyde. Baliktaran. So if you add hydrogen, that's reduction because reduction is addition of hydrogen in organ biochemistry. How about this? How do you convert it to glycerol? Say it. Just add hydrogen. Add hydrogen here. Add hydrogen there. And that's true. And it's the same, right? Parehas, di ba? CH2OH, 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 CH2OH. Sorry, dali ko kayo OH. Parehas. Glycerol. And again, these two are produced from splitting of glucose na. You split glucose to glycerose and dihydroxyacetone can be converted to glycerol, and glycerol can be converted to adipose. O sa Tagalog, big. Nakakatabangan. Okay? And sometimes, it can be converted to lipids that are found in the blood. Okay? So yun, reversals for glycerol. Moving on, where do you find ribose ulit? Sinabi ka rin yan. Component of nucleic acids. No? Ito yung cofactors, saka na yung cofactors. Ayun. So, what's the sugar ulit in the DNA? Ano yung sugar sa DNA? Pag naman yan, pinamali pa, ewan ko na lang. Deoxyribose nga. Kaya nga, deoxyribonucleic acid eh. What's the sugar in the RNA? Ribose. Kasi ribonucleic acid naman. So, what is cellulose nga? You also have cellulose intolerance. Okay? Cellulose is normally reduced by cellulose reductase. If not, then you develop pentosuria. Ulit. Cellulose is usually reduced by cellulose reductase. It is converted to xylitol. Xylitol is a sugar alcohol excretable in the urine. Okay? So, nag-i-imply natin dito. There are some patients who don't have reductase. And it's a genetic deficiency. By the way, whenever a patient is missing an enzyme or lacking enzyme activity, o sa Tagalog, kulang sa enzyme, alam mo yung sakit ay ano? Genetics. Just like your traditional one. Ano yung common na enzymatic deficiency na nakikita sa newborn babies in Filipinos? Narinyere, ano ba? G6PD deficiency. Ano yun? Glucose-6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency. So, if that's the case, you don't have to write it. If you're missing an enzyme, it's genetics. And you can correct for it. Walang treatment, kumbaga. Wala eh. Genetics eh. Naman ako. The possible treatment is gene therapy. But in our setting, we don't have such. What is gene therapy? In some first world countries, they can now correct the wrong gene. Newborn babies, they get their genome scanned. If there's a defective gene, they remove the gene, replace it with a correct one. Ang dali, no? Ang dali pakinggan. Hanapin sa genes mo yung banta, papalit ko ng tama. Nagagawa sa ibang bansa. Sa atin malabo. Why? First, cost. Katumaan. And not too much the government, but no government has supported for healthcare anyway. Meron ba pumondo ng todo-todo sa healthcare sa atin? Wala naman eh. So malabo makondo. Ano ba? Ano ba? Fact on this one, we are a Catholic nation. You can tamper with genes according to the church. I'm not anti-church. You can tamper with genes. Why? Because God gave them to you. So you can modify the genes. And that's a factor. Diba? Medicine, healthcare has a lot of factors. No? Yun lang. Anyways, basta genetic na sakit, walang treatment. Pero gene therapy. Pero alam mo sa akin. So what is pentosuria? For patients who have deficiency in cellulose reductase, they tend to convert cellulose to xylitol. And therefore, their kidneys are forced to eliminate cellulose directly to the urine without passing xylitol. What's the problem? If you get a sample of this urine, okay, and you added cupric ions can be converted to cuprous. And again, just like in the discussion a while ago, that can be converted to cuprous oxide, which is a brick red precipitate. Kaya ngayon, excuse the word ko. What's the problem? When do you usually see this na ulit? When do you see a brick red precipitate here when adding a reagent with cupric ions? Sino po ba kanina doon? When do you see the brick red precipitate? If there is glucose. if there is glucose. If there is glucose. Ulit-ulit ha. But this one, the big precipitate is due to what? Is it due to glucose? Is it due to glucose? Uwi na tayo, wala na kausap. Yung big precipitate dahil saan? Dahil sa may glucose? Hindi. Cellulose nga eh. Diba? Oh, what's the danger? Anong danger dito? Baka napagkamalang glucose yun. So, kung napagkamalang glucose yun, anong delikado? Baka napagkamalang siyang diabetic. Pag napagkamalang siyang diabetic, baka biglang turutan ng insulin. Eh, paano nga kung hindi diabetic? Normal yung asukal, binigyan mo ng insulin, malamang, severe hypoglycemia. Cyclical anti-lipidal convert kasi this is heavy. And you call this what? False positive. You presented with a positive result. But it's not actually the glucose that's giving the positive result. It's actually the cellulose. So simply wala akong problema sa pentosuria. Hardness yan. Nagiging problematic yan dahil pag si cellulose lumabas sa BB at na-check yung BB ng pasyente for glucose, magpa-positive siya. Because cellulose can also reduce metal ions. And the thing is, since it can reduce metal ions, then it might be mistaken for glucose or diabetes mellitus that is severe. And the danger is, if it's mistaken as diabetes, the patient might receive insulin. So, it's not good news. Kasi it's not diabetes. Meaning the sugar is normal, actually normal. But the patient is being given insulin. So, glucose will be severely lower. Delikado. So, glucose intolerance causes diabetes mellitus, fructose intolerance causes hypoglycemia, cellulose intolerance causes pentosuria, which is not problematic per se. Yun lang. I-recap ko lang yung mga intolerance. Okay. Moving on to galactose, we're using galactose nga. We use it to produce lactose. And therefore, what is lactose nga? Milk sugar. Lactose is made up of glucose and galactose is converted to glucose also. Lahat naman eh. Sabi natin kanina, lahat sila pwede maging glucose. And where do we see glucose converted to galactose and further form lactose, the milk sugar? Sa mga mariganas na mammals. Eh kasi nga, breast milk contains lactose. Okay? Video na lang, hindi ka. Sino pinatawanan sa mga? Ano sabi? Okay. See? Okay. So this is produced from digestion of lactose nga. Kasi lactose contains glucose ka lactose. Okay? And as I said, it's also converted to glucose. Yun lang. It's biosynthesized nga in the mammary glands, of course. And what happens in galactose intolerance naman? There are some patients who also fail to convert galactose to glucose. And the danger here is what? Galactose accumulation leading to, the board examiner would prefer to use galactosemia muna. And further, cataracts. Nagiging katarata. Why? The problem po with galactose in excess while in the blood. Galactose is oxidizable to galactaric acid. Galactaric acid. Otherwise known nga in the laboratory as mucic acid. The thing with mucic acid nga po is it's a crystalline precipitate. It has a small particle size and therefore it can be deposited into the small capillaries of the eyes, causing cataracts, further blindness. So nakakabulag ang galactose intolerance. Okay? So let's have, okay, tuloy yung ribose. Arabinose is found in gum arabic na. What is gum arabic? O nga pala. Ngayon pala kayo nag-dosage forms, no? Ano ang gum arabic? Acacia. You use acacia as an emulsifying agent to allow us to mix oil and water. Kasi hindi maghalo oil and water, right? But you can mix it with emulsifying agents such as acacia gum. And gums, by the way, all of them are carbohydrates. Lahat ng gum na matidiscuss sa pharmacology, and even totally perhaps, or even dosage forms, ay carbohydrate. So arabinose is found in gum arabic and also in glycoproteins, not that important. So in gum arabic lang. And gum arabic is, again, acacia. Ito na. Lastly, you have xylose. Xylose is also known as blanca wood sugar. So, sino ulit yung wood sugar? Glucose, table sugar, sucrose, milk sugar, lactose, fruit sugar, fructose, milk sugar, ulit ko pa. So, hindi ko nga nasabi yung beer sugar. Sino yung beer sugar? Maltose. Tama yun. Maltose. At saan nagawa ang maltose? Dalawang glucose. Okay? So, sino si wood sugar? Siya na yun, xylose. Kasi it's found in wood gums na raw. Another thing to remember for xylose is you use it for diagnosing malabsorption studies, you use it for cystitis, and it's obtained from boiling corn gums. Okay? Lahat yan sa Picog actually. So, isa-isa natin. What are malabsorption studies? This is to diagnose people who have problems in the small intestine. Because some people are unable to absorb nutrients properly. So, the practice is you will be allowed to take xylose around 25 to 50 grams dissolved in water, and you have to take it orally nga, or you have to drink that amount of xylose dissolved in water. So, if your absorption is normal, all or most of the dose will go to the blood. Thing with xylose is it's filterable by the kidneys and goes out of the urine. So, if the amount eliminated in the urine is quite near the dose given, it simply means that your absorption is normal. Okay? Bitin ko. Inumin ka dito eh. Ininom ko, no? So, bababa ng intestine, ma-absorb papunta sa dugo. Pag napunta sa dugo, filter yung kidney, lalabas yung halos malapit sa ininom mo. Pag hindi lumabas yung malapit sa ininom mo, it simply means that you fail to absorb it, then you have malabsorption syndrome. Kasi konti yung nailabas mo eh. So, hindi mo siya na-absorb. Okay? And then, what is cystitis? Cystitis is inflammation of what? Inflammation of cyst. Eh, ganun ba? Masanay tayo eh, no? Glossitis, inflammation of the tongue. Pharyngitis, inflammation of the pharynx. Bronchitis, inflammation of the bronchioles. How about cystitis? Inflammation of the urinary bladder. And it's a consequence na of what? Nilagay ko na, wala pong inflammation ng cyst. Ano pamagay ng cyst? Inflammation of the urinary bladder. And when is the urinary bladder inflamed? Severe UTI. Pag malala ang UTI mo, mamaga ang bladder mo. Okay? Usually, urinary tract infections will involve what? The urinary tract lang. Yung lower part lang. Urinary tract, urinary bladder. So, if your bladder is being inflamed, it simply means that the pathogen or the bacteria is now reaching the bladder. Which is dangerous, of course, because it can be sepsis. What is sepsis? What is sepsis? The infection has spread throughout the systemic circulation or throughout a lot of organ systems. So, yun. what are the sugar modifications then? You have sugar phosphates, you have sugar alcohols, you have sugar acids, you have amino sugars, and you have deoxysugars. You just have to name them. And I'm looking for the generic name or general name. Hindi yung kinayong actives. Anong actives sa una? Sugar phosphates. Because they have sugar phosphate or phosphate. And what are sugar phosphates na? So, we're talking about sugar modifications. Number one, we call them sugar phosphates. You just have to remember the key functions. Sugar phosphates are what? Common metabolic intermediates. They are common metabolic intermediates. Okay? So, you don't have to remember the names. Okay? Sa tutok, mga phosphate na yan. May phosphate sila. Next, you have sugar alcohols na ba? Ay, deoxysugar. So, what's the most common deoxysugar na? Nakaka-discuss lang kanina,